Hello, kiddos. Miss Holokai here. I wanted to read another soup book. And this is one of my favorite soup books. This is an old story. I love this story. It's called Growing Vegetable Soup. The author and the illustrator, her name is Lois Elhert. And this is about growing your own vegetables and then picking them and chopping them up and making vegetable soup. That's the best thing, is when you have your own garden and you spend all this time planting the seeds and waiting for them to grow, and then they grow up real big and strong. You pick out the weeds, you water them, you take care of them for a really long time, for months and months, and then they're ready to be picked and you eat them and they taste so good. I think they taste even better because you grew them yourself, right? So this is called Growing Vegetable Soup. Dad says we are going to grow vegetable soup. Now that means they're going to grow the vegetables, right? The soup isn't just going to come out of the ground. You got to grow the vegetables and then make it. We're ready to work, and our tools are ready too. So they've got a rake and a shovel and a hoe. They have to dig up the dirt. We are planting the seeds. So they get little seed packets and they have to make holes in the ground and put the seeds in. There's a green bean seed, pea seed, corn seed, zucchini squash, and look at how itty bitty the carrot seeds are. They're real tiny. And all the sprouts. So some plants, you put in the ground the baby plant, the sprout. You could buy these at the garden store. So there's a tomato sprout, a broccoli sprout. Here's some onions, pepper and cabbage. And look, they put little signs on them so that they know what they are. Because sometimes when you plant, you're like, what did I plant there? Was that a tomato plant or carrots? What was that? But if you have a sign there, you'll know. And we give them water. Remember, plants need soil, that's dirt, water, sunlight, and air to grow. So you got to make sure they're watered or they'll shrivel up and die. And we wait for the warm sun to make them grow. And you plant them in rows. See how it's in rows? You can't plant them just all over the place. You got to plant them in rows so everything has room to grow. And they grow and grow into plants. Look at how big they are now. And look, they had to put stakes and strings so that the peas have vines, and the vines need something to wind around. And what do we got here? Zucchini squash. Oh, there's a squash blossom, remember? Just like a pumpkin. A pumpkin is a type of squash. Right underneath that squash blossom, the squash is going to start to grow. We watch over them and weed. So weeds are little plants that will grow up and they'll try to suck all of the water and nutrients that's like the plant food away from the good plants. So you got to pick them out. We watch over them and weed until the vegetables are ready for us to pick. Picking time. So look at those bright red tomatoes and green peppers and corn. Oh, that's the exciting part. Or we dig them up. So some of them are deep in the ground. These are root plants. So carrots, they're like roots. You got to pull them up, and the potatoes are way down deep. You got to dig them out. And we carry them home and we wash them. So here's some cabbage, here's some onions. I know a lot of kids don't like onions, like my daughter doesn't like onions, but they make things taste good. If you don't have onions and garlic, it's not going to taste good. And we cut them up and put them in a pot of water. So there they are, chopping them up. Make the soup, and that's called a ladle. That's a big soup spoon. We cook them into vegetable soup. Oh, look. The steam and the smell, the aroma, that means the good smell of soup cooking. At last, it's time to eat it all up. That was the best soup ever. And we can grow it again next year. The end. I hope you like that story. Bye.